generally it was pretty quiet, and there was just no question. I did bring a mallet along, but there was just no question of striking it with the mallet, because you would have just heard tick, 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 all echoing around Little Dean's yard. So what I'd actually done in preparation, I think, because I knew that might be a problem, I bought these set of chisels from a shop on Tottenham Court Road a few days before, and I'd gone home and I'd found some old cotton wool, and I'd wrapped it around the head of the chisel, and then I'd wrap that in gaffer tape or something. So we actually struck the chisels with the palms of our hands, but even that was still making quite a lot of noise. So the relief came, and more as the night grew on, because the number of chimes increased. But the relief came when the Big Ben was chiming, because you could sort of really go for it a bit more vigorously at that point.
But generally it wasn't a sort of traditional, bash on the chisel technique. We resorted to really just grinding the chisel into the stone. Yeah. And I remember I was wearing red gloves. I remember woolen gloves, which by the end of the probably 3 or 4 hours. I think we began
at about 6 in the morning, 5:30.
Yeah, but I remember my gloves were just kind of in tatters, hanging off my hands, and my knuckles were all just bleeding, because we'd been, giving it our real force, trying to grind these chisels into the stone.
And did you? I can't remember, because I've also brought along some masking tape.
Of course he did.
Masking tape. And I brought along some chalk. And I also brought a printout of MG in Times New Roman. Because I thought, I wasn't so conscious of the terrible faux pas that is Times New Roman back in those days. And so I marked it out in between these two lines of tape in parallel lines, and I also brought a rubber. I remember, to rub out the chalk.
Oh,
I know.
See, this is what I was up against. Mine was.
But you marked yours out as well, didn't you?
No, mine was very much a
freestyle
font. Yeah.
So how long was it actually until sort of the staff in general knew and were aware?
I'm not sure anyone really knew. Maybe, I think there might have been a few.
There was a moment, I remember, this notorious Eddie Smith summoned, I think, just me into his office, probably once school was officially over and we'd left the school, and he said, "Are you a wealthy man, Stevens?" And I said, "Well, not especially. So how do you afford to pay a stonemason?" And obviously he'd discovered, and but actually going back to my scruffy handwriting and crude technique, that came at the cost, because, as probably Michael's MG is still proudly there on the wall, whereas mine, I think a significant sum was paid to remove the stone that my name was on and replace it.